Imagine growing up and seeing puppies pop out as special surprise presents at birthday parties, but knowing that that could never be you. Or imagine walking through the Walmart parking lot, seeing the cute puppies being given away for free, but knowing you could never take one home. I grew up with a mom who was allergic to dog hair, so having that furry best friend as a child was not something I ever got to experience. And as a little girl, I imagined everything I would do with my hypothetical first dog. But now having my own dog, Nellie, she's proven to me that my imagination as a child didn't grasp a full understanding of the actual responsibilities and rewards I would gain from the experience. Talking a bit about how those fantasies I had as a child have been altered by the realities of owning a dog will illustrate some of the lessons that I've learned through my experience. As a little girl, I believed that owning a dog revolved entirely around fun and cuddles. Responsibility had no place in the equation. Looking back, I think that this assumption was probably formed by two things, the first of which being that my peers had very limited responsibility in caring for their own family pets. Children are never tasked with the 4 a.m. potty breaks or the $100 vet bills, but rather very simple things like making sure the water bowl is filled. So observing this very limited responsibility only really serves to further my belief that owning a dog was all about fun and not responsibility. The second thing I think kind of fueled this assumption was the media at the time. Take Scooby-Doo, a popular American cartoon created by Hanna-Barbera in 1969, for example. I watched a lot of Scooby-Doo as a child, and we never saw scenes where Shaggy had to take Scooby to the vet or potty train him, but rather scenes where they were best friends and had fun solving mysteries together. My ideas about owning a dog as a child really did change drastically, though, when I did get Nellie. And I realized that as a child, I lacked an understanding of the responsibilities and sacrifices that owning a dog requires. Even when I first brought Nellie home, my ideas were a bit misconstrued. When she first came home, she was an angel. We spent all of our time playing and cuddling and going on walks, but as she got older, she began to act out by chewing things, namely shoes and furniture. And so now I allot an hour of my time every day to take Nellie out on a run to let her expend some of that energy, which is a huge responsibility in the form of time management. The other thing I failed to realize as a child was that owning a dog revolves around sacrifice. And I very recently made a huge sacrifice for Nellie's well-being. In the beginning of August, she had swallowed some rocks from our local park, and the vet said that without removal, the rocks could cause very dire consequences like a stomach perforation or even death. So I made the decision to spend thousands of dollars that I'd worked all summer to save up in order for her to have the surgery to remove them. This sacrifice is not something I would have likely made before I got Nellie. Caring about other people is not something that I've always been great at, which I'm not proud to admit. But through Nellie and I's journey, she's taught me insane amount of lessons about compassion and empathy and responsibility. When I first came to college, straight out of high school, I was very materialistic, and my biggest concerns were my friends and parties and outfits rather than important things like school and work and making time for Nellie. So once I got her, I realized how immature my notions were and began to prioritize the things I should have been in the beginning. Nellie's also taught me many lessons on compassion and empathy for other living things. In 2019, Nellie and I were in a car accident and were T-boned by a drunk driver. And my first thought after I realized what had happened was, is Nellie okay? Before I got Nellie, it probably would have been much more surface along the lines of, oh my God, my car. But this is now a quality that I take pride in, not only as a dog mom, but also as a daughter and an Aggie. In reality, raising Nellie has had a much bigger effect on me than on her. She has taught me lessons in compassion, responsibility, and empathy. And thus far in my life, nothing has been as rewarding as getting to grow up with Nellie.